Welcome back to the Green Machine. Some things don't change, do they? David Dunn here, joined by Nick Mendes. And that music is a bit loud. So, why not start off where we finished off last season? How's it going? You're home for Irish football news and nostalgia. And, well, we are back. We are back for another season. And on tonight's programme, we're going to be talking about Vera Pauw. What's gone wrong? Lee Carsley going to be staying on as England Under-21's manager, apparently. And does James McClean's move to Wrexham mean, well, he's finished in green? All this and more coming up on tonight. And, of course, you can always follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, or X as it's called now, not Twitter. And you can head over to the greenmachinepodcast.com. That's the greenmachinepodcast.com for more news, views, and a whole load of opinion, and also our entire back catalogue. Right, that's enough of that. Absolutely botched intro. I am rusty anyway. Nick, how are you doing?
Fantastic, Dave. What an intro. What a way to start the new season. I mean, new tunes, forgetting our lines. It's magical. It's magic. But look, that's who we are, Dave. And yes, you know, we
amateurs.
And I'm seeing a comment there already to free Prendy from Connor. So yeah,
he's free.
Yeah, he is free. But see what happens when he's left free?
Well, yeah, he's on the lash.
Yeah.
Is he in Portugal or Spain? He's one of those sunny countries anyway.
Somewhere sunny. He's gone back home. He's been deported again.
Yeah, he has indeed. Nick, you were at United. You were where were you?
I was, I was at United Bilbao. That lovely photo that I sent you guys. Yeah, I was right behind the goal. Nearly got smashed in the face a few times. Weird experience. It's kind of like being at the circus.
Wow.
Yeah, poor game. Jesus, it was Bilbao's full team. I think that was more impressive than anything. But look, they did. They scored a Harry Maguire assist. But Dave, not many people can say that they were at a game live where Johnny Evans partnered Harry Maguire at centre half, and Harry Maguire got an assist. So I'll take that. But it was a weird one. It was. I must say though, I've never seen so many fans at Lansdowne Road arrive so early for a game than I did today, and the atmosphere was great for the first 5 minutes.
Oh, you little red devils!
But a very funny one though. Half an hour, it started pissing rain, and I was south lower, kind of the singing section, for the Ireland games, and the whole, I'm not joking, the whole section emptied out. Half an hour in, the whole section just legged it inside. It was
like
weird.
At Old Trafford, really, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's what happens before the game, Dave. But it was a strange one. I mean, look, I never begrudge, United fans or Liverpool fans or whoever. Celtic were there last week for going to watch their team in Dublin. I mean, happens all over the world, doesn't it? And we are a big footballing country, but it was unusual.
Just not wrong.
It was a weird experience. I mean, like I'm a Bows fan. I'm going to Bows. I've been to more Bows matches than United matches, but yeah, it was weird. It was kind of a circus feel, but I wouldn't begrudge anyone as long as people are out enjoying themselves, having a good time, watching football, out with the family, good family day, great for the kids. I wouldn't begrudge them, but not my cup of tea.
And you don't want any of that, you can head over and watch Man United play. I finally went to when United first played there. It was actually the first football game, the 7-1.
The League of Ireland 11.
Yeah, I was actually the only one supporting.
Were you playing?
No, I probably would have done a better job. Damian Richardson was the coach of the Artricity 11, and
James McClean played in that, I think.
Well, yeah. I mean, Jason Park got the first goal. I remember that. But I was the only one there cheering. They're all going, United! And I was like, come on, Artricity 11.
The amount of, I was sitting near to these lads. I think they said they were from Laois and they were speaking in Manchester accents, which was unusual. But again, that's of what I expected to hear today.
Martin thinks he's from Kilkenny and he speaks with a Cockney accent. So I'm just saying.
Very true, actually. Yeah, free Prendy.
Yeah, and Dublin, to be fair, isn't exactly a hotbed of Bilbao fans. But anyway, be that as we may. Right. As always, guys, for you watching at home on Facebook and YouTube Live, we are Irish football's most interactive podcast. We want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. We're going to be talking about all sorts of stuff here tonight for the 35 or so minutes we're going to be with you live. We want to hear from you. Tell us what you think, and we'll get to those towards the end of the program. So as always, we are Ireland's voice. We just let you speak. We don't speak for you. because we're nice like that. Anyway, right, we're going to get into the first one, and finally, I bet he's not watching. I can't remember his name. It's like Nuri Newick, but we actually have some finally new graphics. So on to the first one, Nick. State of play. Right, and first thing, it is nice, isn't it? So a brand new addition to the program, State of Play. Basically, what's going on with the boys and girls in green? And of course, the only topic we can really talk about for the next couple of minutes is Vera Pauw. Nick, what's gone wrong? She was the golden girl of Irish football, and now she might not even be getting a contract.
Yeah, look, unusual one. I mean, we've gone to our first ever Women's World Cup. Overachieved, in my opinion. I really feel we have. I think if you look back 6 years ago, the state that Irish football was in, from not just from a male perspective, but from the women's perspective, who was on the ground. I think we were at a crossroads where we could have gone into the abyss, and where a lot of teams would have gone into the abyss. And Vera Pauw's come in, and within 6 years, which is a very, not less actually, which is a very short amount of time, she's gotten us to a World Cup. And in that World Cup, we haven't looked out of place. We play one of the favourites for the tournaments, played the Olympic champions. We played probably one of the strongest teams in Africa, drawing with them as well. There's been an unusual narrative from the media, and I put an article out. Do check that out. Wherever you're listening, if you go into any of our socials, into our bio, in our link tree, you should be able to get the article there, or on our website, greenmachinepodcast.com. Should be able to get the article there, where I basically spoke about the media narrative, because it's been a bit of a discussion point this week. A lot of people, I suppose, having a bit of a go with certain media outlets, because they say that they're shit stirring. I don't necessarily think they're shit stirring. I think they're reporting what's in front of them, but they're reporting a lot of things without speculation, with speculation and very little evidence. What I think has happened is, like most international camps, during a tournament, they can be very, very intense situations. If you look at the Irish perspective, Saipan, Trapattoni 2012, that's just two examples from an Irish perspective. In the history of international football, from the 1930 World Cup up, there's been so many issues within international camps during tournaments. Some of them make the media. Look at 2002. You didn't just have Ireland, just Slovenia. Their best player, Zajovic, I think, fell out with the manager. Freddie Ljungberg punched Olof Mellberg in the face, I think, Sweden in 2002. So that's three examples in one World Cup. How many other examples just didn't make the media?
It just seems to me like you've got players that have never gone to a major international tournament before. They haven't probably spent this amount of time with each other before. And then you've got a manager who basically rules with an iron fist. I'm not against that, by the way. I'm all about discipline. The the manager has to be in control. And it just seems like it's a case of, you want to know me? Come live with me. And they've kind of lived with her for a month, and they just have had a complete fallout. There seems to be a lot of tension there. We saw that with the Katie McCabe situation, telling the manager, you need to make a change. By the way, I agree with Vera Pauw on that one.
100%. No, you can't.
Katie
McCabe can't pull rank there, and Katie had like I see a lot of people saying Katie McCabe was the player of the tournament. Katie didn't. That was not Katie McCabe's best football at that tournament. Katie McCabe is one of the best players in the world, I think. And
she's genuine class.
And she was solid in the World Cup. She was rusty as well, though. She was sloppy at times. I'm not saying that it was a disastrous performance from Katie at the World Cup, but she can't be pulling rank like that. And just on it, Dave, just on the camp, the amount of things that have been speculated, I think Vera Pauw set us up correctly. There's a couple of things that people are taking issue with. One of them is the system that she plays. Very, very rigid, very, very structured, very, very functional. I think if we played a more open game, Dave, I think we would have been trounced. The Australians beat us by a penalty. If we played with four at the back, for example, or if we played with Denise O'Sullivan in a number 10 role, I don't want to get all technical because we're not really all about that. And if we had no wingers, and if we had two up top, the Australians and the Canadians would have took us to shreds because they had a lot of pace out wide. There was a lot of calls for Amber Barrett to start games. Amber Barrett's come off the season in Germany without scoring a goal. I think a lot of people who maybe came, and this isn't to be condescending, but I think a lot of people who came to the women's game right after the playoff think that Amber Barrett was a goal scoring machine for us in the qualifiers. She wasn't. She scored in one game against Georgia when we absolutely hammered them.
Yeah.
and she scored in the playoff. Very important goal. Very, very talented player. But there were a lot of criticisms of Pauw that I think came with a lot of, I suppose, with a lack of knowledge on the women's game.
I'm going to break a rule early on. It's the first episode, so we can do it. A comment has come in here from America, actually, and I know we have a comment section, but I think it's quite pertinent to the discussion.
Yeah.
Stacey Sybil, am I pronouncing that, Stacey? How are you doing? From Baltimore, Maryland. Hey guys, watching from Baltimore, Maryland, USA. I follow the women's league here. She managed to use and dash. That is Vera Pauw. She was let go. Seemed like some toxicity there. Perhaps that's part of the problem now. And then just put up there. Strong coaching, though. Thank you very much, Stacey. Hope you're well in Maryland. One of our many international commenters there and followers. Toxicity, it seems to be the case. I said before when we did the preview show, I said this to me is Euro 2012 2.0. She is trapped.
You did, yeah, you did.
And it just struck me very, her comments bordered on arrogance. But you don't mind that with your coach sometimes. Coaches, the coach has to be the biggest personality for me anyway. And she said against Scotland, it wasn't that we had the best team that we won. We were set up better. We had the better game plan. So that was basically me. Now, she's a very good coach. She's proven that. But is there a sense of, okay, you've mentioned the kind of the lack of knowledge and people are criticizing her, but I mean, that's a football thing, isn't it? Is she a product of her time a little bit? And maybe this is not the modern approach.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, we speak about this a lot, don't we? I mean, the whole idea that the modern day footballer, men and women, that they're not, and society in general, Dave, like people in general, my generation, let's say, we're much more sensitive than the generation before us. We don't take criticism as well. It's just, unfortunately, it's just maybe we grew up in more comfort, and that's come with the modern player. And maybe if this was during the Noel King era, maybe even the period before that in the 90s, I can't remember the guy's name, Cook. He had a long stint. Maybe if she was there during those periods, the likes of, say, Olivia O'Toole, hard as nails, Emma Byrne, hard as nails, maybe they wouldn't have batted an eyelid.
It's just a cultural thing, though, because, I mean, the Irish players fell out on an Italian manager in 2012. I know this is a Dutch manager, but when the Irish managers, except for 2002, obviously, but, we've had that was a personal thing. But when we had, like, an English manager or someone from Northern Ireland, for example, or, there never seemed to be a problem. But is this a cultural thing?
I really, it's such a challenging thing to discuss, Dave, because we don't know. We really don't know what's gone on in that camp. And all we've seen is we've heard bits and pieces. We heard of the whole, Rusha Littlejohn, Katie McCabe thing kind of in the build up to the Australian game.
Never ideal.
That was possibly a factor. We don't know if that was a factor. We heard whispers Amber Barrett wasn't happy. I've heard nothing from Amber Barrett. I've heard nothing concrete about Amber Barrett being unhappy. Amber Barrett didn't start every single game of the qualifiers, so I don't know where that came from. I feel that was kind of born out of fan speculation. And we've heard of the players being unhappy with the tactics. The tactics got us to the World Cup. I honestly think if we played a different way, I followed the women's game, Dave, and I honestly think if we played a different way, we would have been completely whitewashed and we would have conceded more goals. So
we didn't play poorly.
Yeah, and so I don't know. I think I've never seen a lack of trust in Vera Pauw or any kind of lack of trust suggested in the build-up to this World Cup. Okay. The Athletic article, very, very damaging, absolutely. The toxicity kind of thing, there's a lot of question marks. And Joe Malloy of Off the Ball put out a very good statement. Kind of a statement on Off the Ball a couple of months ago, basically speaking about that and speaking about how the FAI probably haven't protected Vera from this. But he also made a really good point that there doesn't seem to be a huge amount of concrete evidence in this. It's a little bit like the Camp Nou. The stuff that's been kind of mentioned in the report and the stuff that's been kind of reported in the Athletic it's a little bit airy-fairy. It's not very concrete. If something concrete comes out and they say, oh, Vera decked one of the girls in the face, which wasn't even an accusation, you'd say, okay, that's a massive issue. You can't be doing that as a modern-day manager. But at the moment, particularly with the Ireland stuff and the World Cup stuff, it's I don't know. Like, more stuff will come out, but then
I
is the
think
media is it, but my issue is, and like everything at the moment, Dave, the world is so aggressive at the moment. There could be something small that will get absolutely exasperated
I think it's every
where
chance.
years ago wouldn't have even been an issue.
Yeah.
Imagine some of the stuff, Dave, that's gone on in Ireland camps at World Cups. Like we speak about Saipan, I'd say there were issues at USA 94. I'd say there was issues at Italia 90, Germany 88. Euro 88 or whatever. I'd say that there were issues at every single one, but they probably weren't publicized and they probably weren't as big an issue as things are being made out to be now. I don't know though. It's so hard. It's so hard to speak about when we don't know what the issue is.
Yeah, I mean, look, for me, especially in America, you know, they're so sensitive over there. You are no, they're so sensitive in America where
Dave.
Not in America, wouldn't. No. I mean, like they are so sensitive over there, so you don't know, is that an issue, as you rightly say. But just moving. I mean, this is obviously going to grow arms and legs as we find out. I think in books and years to come, we'll see what really happened. But it wasn't all doom and gloom. They did have a homecoming the other day. 8,000 fans there, looking pretty happy, as it should be. All the boys and girls in green coming out to support the ladies, which I think is fantastic. And there she is there, Vera Pauw, jumping up and down. I heard Martin sent in an article the other day. I kind of hope it's taken out of context, but apparently some of the players like Katie McCabe sort of just kind of walked past the crowd at the airport, and you know they were given stuff to sign on the bus. I hope that's not the case, and please, if someone out there they can correct that. But that was reported.
Yeah, I don't know. They've come off a horrendous journey, one of the worst journeys you can do. Now I'm sure they traveled in great comfort, but I mean you're traveling for a couple of days, aren't you? So look, there's loads of factors. I think Katie McCabe, like I think a huge amount of publicity in the lead up to this World Cup. I think, and this would be very unpopular, and people might go in on me on this, but she's let herself down in moments during this World Cup, which is disappointing. And you know the amount of games Katie's played this season as well is telling. The travel, the whole lot. I think she seemed tired at this World Cup. People are saying she was our player of the tournament. I completely disagree with that. But you know, I think this was an exhausting experience for Katie, on many levels.
Yeah,
a lot of factors and a lot of things. So I wouldn't.
We'll give her a little pass on that. We'll give her a little pass.
No, I think so. So. Yeah, excellent player. Yeah,
we're going to see what happens anyway with this. Also, another little story that's come out. You put it up on the Green Machine, was that Lee Carsley apparently is going to continue on as under 21's manager. He is on a 1-year rolling deal, which is a strange one. But quickly, what do you make of that? Opportunity lost, or do you reckon his buyout clause is that expensive? Would you reckon it cost?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the nature of these under 21 contracts and how strict they are. Like contracts in football, they're there to be broken. You know, whether it be a player,
like legs.
Exactly. Yeah, but whether it be a player, whether it be a manager, they're there to be broken. They're essentially compensation contracts, aren't they? More than anything. I don't know how they work. I'm not familiar with the underage kind of circuit and how managerial contracts work and that kind of thing, because a lot of under 21s managers, they might go on to a senior job, or they might go on to a club job, maybe not at the top level. The whole thing with Carsley, again, a little bit like the Vera Pauw Ireland camp stuff, it's all speculation and we don't know anything. Stephen Kenny's still the Ireland manager. I fully believe, Dave, and I'll probably be eating my own words in about 6 weeks' time, but I fully believe Stephen Kenny will be in charge until the end of the qualifiers. With Carsley, you have to look, like people are talking about this revolutionary brand of football that he's playing, and he's one of the top development coaches in kind of European football, people are saying. But like he's a very good under 21 squad that's just won the European Championships. He wouldn't have the same caliber as player.
No, but you know, for me anyway, I think he'd be perfect for the job. But you know, and by the way, you guys watching, tell us what you think. Do you want Carsley coming in? Tell us what you think about the whole situation. We will get your comments. I think with Carsley, like I do think he'd be perfect. Talented young players, and there are talented young players in the Irish team. Are they of the caliber of the English players? No, that would just be a ridiculous argument if we tried to. I do think he would be perfect fit. However, the FAI are bound by, you know, it's not cut and dry. It's not straightforward deal for the FAI, as you mentioned on previous streams here, where you have a mass contingent of Kenny fans, and no matter what the FAI do, they're damned. They're damned if they stay with him. They're damned if they get. They are still. We still can qualify automatically, so it would seem unfair on the outside looking in, and they would have to pay him a certain amount of money. So they have to wait until we cannot qualify automatically, I believe.
Well, they've said, by the sounds of it, if he gets they said 4 points, isn't it, in September? By the sounds of it, I think if he gets even a point, or that's the thing. Like I think in regards to Stephen, like it's two separate arguments, Dave, in a way. But when it comes to Stephen Kenny, I don't know what else he can do with this team. He's blooded Irish lads. He's got us. He's got us passing the ball more. He's transformed the style of football, but we're not beating teams that are probably that level around us, just above us. That was the Greek trial. That was
the problem, isn't it?
Yeah, that was the Greek trial, and I think that was your evidence that he's taken us as far as he can. If he was to be replaced, you have to look at a couple of factors: who's available, who can we afford, and who will actually do a decent job. And at the moment, you look at it and you think Lee Carsley is fit. He's an ex-international. He understands the Irish players. He wanted to be involved in the FAI years ago. The only other viable option is someone outrageous like, Sam Allardyce, because he's on a free, who I wouldn't be going near, wouldn't be touching with the barge pole.
No, absolutely.
The issue now, obviously, the contract extension or the rolling contract, what is the compensation? I don't really know. Is he next in line? Yeah, I think so. So is it a missed opportunity? It probably will be. I think he's a good fit. I would, I'd probably get him in if the compensation wasn't too bad. But look,
fair enough.
So in other words, Dave, I can't really answer your Vera Pauw or Lee Carsley question.
Brilliant. We got it right. Martin, all's forgiven. Please come back. Okay, we'll move on to that. What do you guys think at home, by the way? Lee Carsley, is he for you? Do you want him in? Should Kenny be given a chance at the FA and miss a trick? Want to hear from you guys. We're going to move on to our boys, and I suppose girls, in green. So first thing, what will we do, Nick? Will we do the transfers first, or will we see how they got on over the weekend?
Let's do the updates. Let's do the updates for the crack, and then we'll chat through a few transfers that have happened.
Well, let's have a look at it here anyway. So I'll let you do it, Nick. This is the updated one. We are, by the way, just preface this. We're not going to be going with the school, the Leinster school, or the Martin's son playing five-a-side anymore for the old Irish updates. We're going to be going with Premier League, League One, Championship, and maybe a bit of SPL. Just in case you're wondering. So it's a streamlined version of how the boys in green.
And just on that, if you want your updates, check out Republic of Ireland Tracker. Check out Kenny's Kids. They will sort you out. If you want to go for the obscure stuff, have a look at them. But we're unfortunately just time constraints. We have to narrow things down a little bit from last season.
Yeah, and interest. Right, Nick, take it away.
Right, so just our few stats. The first week of the EPL. Or not the EPL. Jesus, this is a good start now.
Jesus.
FPL, I don't know. Anyway, football.
Like championship.
The start of the football over in England, where most of our players play. Right, we'll get into it. Right, so championship. Sammy Smodix an assist for Blackburn Rovers in their 2-1 win over West Bromwich Albion. Edomo Amaku an assist for Millwall in their 1-0 win over Middlesbrough. And our first couple of goals in the championship this season by Irishmen. Will Keane on his Preston debut, a goal in their 1-1 draw with Jason Knights. Bristol City and Adam Ida, a last-second winner for Norwich City. They beat Aaron Connolly's Hull City 2-1, where Liam Delap scored as well, who, of course, is eligible for Ireland. Yes, he is, just to clarify. And fresh off the press today, Dennis Kirkin, also Irish eligible, an assist for Sunderland.
Love you, Dennis.
Lovely, Dennis. We love you, Dennis. Come and play for us. He assisted the Sunderland goal in their 2-1 loss to Ipswich Town. They lost, and Joby Bellingham,
I don't want him.
Yeah, but Joby Bellingham, who qualifies for Ireland, who plays for Sunderland, missed an absolute sitter. So just to comment on that, and then into League One. Yeah, no, don't want him either. No, but just into League One, then Barry Cotter, a brace of assists for Barnsley. They won 7-0 against Port Vale, and Corey O'Keefe, who Cotter actually replaced in the first half, he assisted as well. And Joe Rafferty, formerly of Liverpool reserves. Anyway, an assist for Portsmouth in their 1-1 draw with Bristol Rovers. And then James Brown. No, not that James Brown. He got on up and he scored. Oh Jesus! He scored a goal. He scored a goal for Ross County in their 4-2 loss to Celtic at Celtic Park. So well done to James Brown. No, not that one.
No, do you mean? I thought you meant the lad that played for Hartlepool, was it? Man, thing used to get up Jeff Stelling and.
All right, no, let's move on swiftly.
Yeah,
what a start, Dave! What a start to the season for us.
Yeah, just rip roaring there. God, I mean, look, the Premier League. I mean, that's not really gonna give us much. Although to be fair, the standard has gone up. We don't have as many first teamers in League One. I don't think we have any actually at the moment. And in fact, let's just move on. Let's get on to the transfers, shall we? Something a little bit less depressing. So here is the notable Irish transfers. We don't have every little thing like, your 10-year-old moving for a packet of crisps and a Snickers bar kind of thing. Just the notable ones we have here. Read them out. Go on, Nick. This is your other.
Oh, you get to read them as well, right?
Yeah, so go on.
Darragh O'Shea. So you said no Premier League players, but Darragh O'Shea going from West Brom to Burnley for a $7 million fee.
Good lad, Darragh.
Which is a bargain, I think, in this day and age. So we're looking forward to seeing Darragh playing. Dave McGoldrick, or Didsy, as we once got destroyed for calling him that. Eddie McGoldrick, Jesus. So Derby to Notts County on a free. Shane Duffy, who sent Aaron Connolly back to Galway yesterday with a fierce tackle. He joined Norwich on a free transfer from Fulham. Sean Maguire, do you remember him, Dave? He's gone from Coventry to Carlisle and didn't start for them either. Louis Barry, remember him as well? Wonder kid with Barcelona. Hasn't declared for us yet, but I'd say it won't be long until he does. He joined Stockport on loan from Aston Villa. And Mark Travers joining Stoke on loan from Bournemouth, starting yesterday. Matt Doherty joining Wolves in a free transfer from Atletico Madrid.
Oh, hold on. So that Martin, I know he's listening.
He is listening.
He's listening. Yeah, that was a wonderful transfer, Nick, wasn't it? To Atletico Madrid, wasn't it? That was so beneficial for him, wasn't it? Yeah, he was in
nice weather in Madrid.
Yeah,
nice
for Ireland, wasn't he?
Cracking form. You could see it. You could see how much he was playing.
So
right, on to the next ones. Will Keane, so of course he scored yesterday. He moved from Wigan to Preston North End.
Good man.
Jason Knight, Derby to Bristol City for an undisclosed fee. Finally, thank God. And Ryan Manning, Swansea to Southampton. Played some lovely football there on Friday night. With Will Smallbone, of course. And then Enda Stevens, remember him, Dave? Sheffield United to Stoke City on a free transfer as well.
Do you know, he was actually one stage when he was in the Premier League, the second fastest player in the Premier League.
I know, yeah. It just shows you how they overdo it with stats, doesn't it? He's a good lad, though, Enda Stevens.
He's a good lad. Best of luck to him. We have another little slide, just a few more left. Here you go.
Right, so Nathan Collins, of course, Wolves to Brentford. So the £23 million fee makes him rather the most expensive Irish player ever. I suppose he broke the record set by Nathan Collins.
Yeah, well done. Oh,
did you enjoy that, Dave?
I did actually. Yeah.
And then Richard Keogh, the most surprised-looking man in Irish football, Ipswich Town to Wycombe Wanderers on a free. Liam Delap, who we are still trying to claim, evidently, Man City to Hull on loan. Of course, he scored yesterday. Luke McNally, excellent player, can I just say. Nearly went up with Coventry last season. He has departed Burnley for Stoke on loan. Of course, joining Mark Travers and Enda Stevens there. Aaron Connolly, Brighton to Hull for an undisclosed fee.
For a year.
Finn Azaz, as he's named here. Aston Villa to Plymouth on loan. And then James McClean, Dave. This is one I think we're talking about. Wigan to Wrexham for £250,000.
Yeah, just very quick before we go to James McClean, Aaron Connolly, what do you make of that for 1 year?
Yeah,
those fee.
Excellent move. Yeah, look, he wasn't going to play at Brighton. The worst thing that could have happened if he had another move like that Venezia move, like let's say if he went somewhere in the continent where he wasn't guaranteed. Yeah, exactly, where he wasn't guaranteed to start. I think with Hull they're going to give him a few games, and then I think he might probably come in as a starter. Did very, very well there. He played kind of as a second striker for them last season and scored a couple of goals before he got injured. So if he can stay fit, if he can stay off the beer, and if he scores a few goals, he could be in a very, very good situation come May, because he could either be going on a free and maybe going to another club, or he could be getting a contract extension with Hull. But a few people, and Justin Peach, who was on the show last week, part of the Second Tier podcast, he has tipped Hull to get into the playoffs. So we'll see how it goes.
Now, best luck to him. I mean, the manager wasn't actually going to re-sign him, but after he scored his first goal, he got injured. No tattoo, and he
not yet.
Not yet. And basically, yeah, he kept in contact and he felt his head was still in the right place. So he wasn't going to go with him, but he went with him anyway. So best luck to you. Honestly, all joking aside, best luck to Aaron.
Oh, we want to see him do well. He's a talented guy, and if he puts the application in, we've got a really, really good player there.
Absolutely. Guys at home, tell us what you think about the whole Aaron Connolly thing, about some of those transfers and whatnot. And one we're going to talk about, we want to get your, especially you guys, I want to hear from you at home about this one. The last one we mentioned there was James McClean going from Wigan to Wrexham for £250,000. Here he is there. He is a very happy dragon with a nice United Airlines
handsome
sponsor.
Man, isn't he?
He is a handsome man. He's in fantastic form. He has gone to League Two. Wrexham, of course, owners Ryan Reynolds and the other fella no one really cares about, on the Disney Plus show. So I imagine he's doing well. Fair play. Is this the end? And I want to hear from you guys at home. Is this the end of James McClean playing for the Republic of Ireland? He got his 100 cap against. He captained. Who was it? Latvia, Lithuania, one of them. Gibraltar, one of them. Yeah, one of those.
Only our last game, Dave. Memory isn't.
I was only there. Yeah. Sorry, lads. It's been a week. It's been a hell of a week, real life and all that stuff. So James McClean, 100 cap against Gibraltar, played very well. Nick tells me it's Gibraltar. He did really, really well. However, is he finished? Is that him now, Nick? Has to be. He can't be playing in the fourth tier of English football. I expect to get him. Not that bad, are we?
Look, his last game, it was excellent. One of his better games for Ireland. I personally, again, another thing I don't think people will be very happy with. I think James McClean should have been phased out a long time ago. Ryan Manning has had a really good couple of seasons, not just with Swansea, but also with QPR. It probably would have been the time to say goodbye to James. And what happened was he was kind of getting phased out, and then he scored the opener against Qatar, didn't he? And Stephen Kenny just kind of kept picking him, and then he was converted into a left wing back. So I think he's lucky to still be involved. The way I look at it is Kenny will probably stick with what he's got for the next couple of games because he's under so much pressure. And I think he will be in the next squad. Should he be in the next squad? The way I look at it is, if you're playing in the Championship, it's a second tier, but you're still playing against international players. In League Two, the only international players he's going to be playing against will be kind of lower tier nations. Kind of, you've a lot of players playing for Caribbean countries in League Two. Some of the likes of Gibraltar, I think there's a couple of League Two players, that kind of thing. So if that's the level you're playing against, you have to kind of weigh up what are the other options. Ryan Manning was excellent there for Southampton the other day. He can play left back. And Enda Stevens started there for Stoke. I don't think Enda Stevens is the answer, but if you're weighing up Enda Stevens in the Championship for Stoke starting every week versus James McClean starting in League Two for Wrexham, you probably go for Enda Stevens, which says a lot. So I don't know. Yeah. He's still fit enough. He still has a role to play, I think, but I don't think we can justify picking a player in League Two. It's a great move for James, by the way, because people forget James is 34. He's nearly 35. He needs his retirement package now. If he didn't, he could have gone to the States when he was about 28, didn't he? And he turned that down to play in the Premier League, which was great. But this contract is very important for him. This is his retirement. This is his lump sum, his retirement package, and this is a move he needs. Will it spell an end to his Ireland career? Not necessarily. I think it will. Soon. I think this will be his last campaign. But I do see him getting picked in the squad in September. I honestly think
that there have to be serious questions to pick the man. Now, to have him around the squad as an influence, because he's a fantastic player. I'm not against James McClean. I've never met the chap, but I have tremendous respect for him. He's a fantastic pro. But you cannot be playing in the fourth tier of English football and expect to be playing against the likes of France and Holland, and especially when you have
Wales have, the way to look at it is Wales have done it. Wales have picked players from League Two. They have picked players from League Two, but having said that, they've also had players playing in the Premier League. They've had players playing in La Liga.
Jason Knight, I thought played very good left back. He actually was amazing.
He played on the other. He played
on right wing back. It's not a good example, actually, is it? God, my head is everywhere. But we have Ryan Manning there. We have Enda Stevens if he comes in.
Yeah.
I suppose.
By the way, I wouldn't have Stevens, but the point I was making is he's going to be playing every week in the Championship, where McClean's going to be playing every week in League Two.
Yeah, I just wouldn't be going with James McClean there. Anyway, but tell us what you guys think at home. Also, actually, before we move on, very quickly, players are still looking for transfers. Kieran Clark, Jamie McGrath, he'll still get in, and Jeff Hendrick, he'll probably still get in as well. It's not looking very good, but obviously Hendrick was with Reading. He was released by Newcastle, and he went down with Reading to League One and didn't stay with them. They're in a bit of a mess. Clark was also released by Newcastle. He was on loan at Sheffield United, wasn't he, last season as well? Went up to the Premier League. And Jamie McGrath just cannot seem to find a home. Precarious looking very quickly. If they don't, I mean...
Yeah.
Doesn't like I'm not hearing any rumors. I mean, Saudi Arabia are going after them.
Well, you never know with Jeff. Like I'm keeping an eye on these things and not seeing anything. Armstrong Okoflex is another one. You know, it looked like he got his loan to Swansea last season. Looked like he'd kick on. Jeff Hendrick, I don't know. Like he's technically not a free agent. He's technically still a Newcastle player. And there is a year left on his contract, so he would actually have to a club will have to come in with a fee. Unless they release him, or at least unless they terminate it. McGrath, I thought he would have gone to an SBL club now. Like the SBL season kicked off, and I think if someone was keen enough to get him, I think they would have had him in by now. There's probably complexities there with his contract termination. There might be legal bits that have to be tied up. I don't know. I was looking at a couple of forms from Dundee United, and you know, they as well as he seemed to have done to the average fan, they didn't want him near the club. You know, they kind of said he's not a great player, and you know, he doesn't offer enough all round. I think it was Conan Byrne suggested that maybe he could go. He'd be very successful in the Dutch league, the Portuguese league, because of his style of play. He's a good player. I just think he's probably needs to refine more bits of his game. I think he'll get a club. And then Kieran Clark. Look, Kieran Clark is 34. It's difficult to know where he's going to go. A Championship club could pick him up. He's experienced. He did very well with Sheffield United last season. He's had bad injury issues over the last couple of years. He's been in and out of the Newcastle team the last couple of years. So he's not as an attractive proposition as he would have been maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
You can see retirement.
I don't think he's going to retire, but it's hard to know where he goes. Like, you know, it is hard to know where he goes. He won't be getting a Premier League move out of the question. Championship move. I can see him ending up at somewhere like West Brom or someone like that.
Oh, that's fair. Okay. Well, we're going to we'll see what happens over the next coming weeks. Anyway, I'm sure it's going to be very interesting. We're going to move it on to the social media watch. Didn't deserve any music. Sorry, saw one of the comments there. Not really much going on, actually. It's been quite calm, which is kind of a bit disappointing. But I did find this little nugget from Ireland's homecoming there the other day. But very quickly on that, there was one or two negative comments saying, "Oh," and I think this is a problem with the younger Irish, that we're celebrating. We're celebrating mediocrity. But sure, 1988, we crashed out the same. You know, and I love the Euro 88 team, but sure, we crashed out the same stage in the cruise, and sure, 100,000 people came on the streets and the place went mental, as Jack said. Bit strange to me, but he loved it. Anyway, so this is Vera from those celebrations. I don't know what to call it. Do you reckon she's just happy to be away from Katie McCabe?
I call that Dutch courage, Dave. But a boom.
Yeah, I don't know what to call that. I call it just happy to be away from Katie McCabe. As I said. Also, during the week, it was Eamon Duffy's birthday. And, of course, on Lansing Road, I just got as many... I didn't even use them all, but there's loads of clips of Eamon Duffy. Here is one that I think goes really, really under the radar, and I think it's an absolute classic, and it is young Eamon working it.
I always want to be a model, and this is my big opportunity. I understand lots of people out there, and I'm looking forward to being discovered. I understand there's some top model agencies here, and I have the figure for it.
So you're going to put on the full show tonight?
I'm really going for it, yeah.
You're really going for it. What are you wearing?
I'm wearing a man's jacket from Penny's new man's shop. It's for the rugged outdoor type of man, and they chose me to wear it. I can't understand why.
I love that. I don't know what gets me. I always wanted to be a model, or it's a Penny's man's jacket, or Primark for you, Martin.
It actually sounds like someone doing an Eamon Dunphy impression.
It's amazing.
It's quintessential Eamon Dunphy. Actually, a friend of mine was at the match today, and one of my friends, he said a few years ago he's doing a promo for Xbox, a good few years ago. And I don't remember where it was, but it was in a shop anyway. And Eamon Dunphy passed, and he went out to Eamon Dunphy and he goes, Eamon, do you want a shot of the Xbox? And Dunphy's response was, oh no, I don't do techno.
Fair enough.
I don't do techno. Brilliant.
He's a lovely fella. I remember I got the ferry over to him for his signing. Ireland lost to Germany. King was the manager. We lost 3-0, and then the next day I was hungover a bit, and I went in to meet him in Easton's. I was second in the line to actually meet him to sign the book. Brilliant book, by the way, The Rocky Road. I cannot wait for the second part. Oh, it's a class book. And he was so humble. He was a lovely fella. I remember he just like put his arm around me for the photograph. Hey man, can David have a photograph with you? Of course he can have a photograph with me. And he just whispers in my ear, are you a footballing man, David? I was like, went weak at the knees. I did. I was like, I am, Eamon. Who do you support? Well, I'm a Liverpool fan. Oh, I'm a Liverpool fan too. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Just brilliant. Lovely fella. Really nice, actually. And there's actually a book out there on Kindle called Dunphy Unleashed. And it's an interview that was done with him with a reporter. Can't think of the guy's name. Dunphy Unleashed. And it's from 1996. And it was the one that he actually was sued over by Prunches de Rossa. And he goes in on Sinead. No, not Sinead O'Connor. He goes in on Mary Robinson. He goes in on everybody. Bono, U2. It's brilliant. Dunphy Unleashed. But anyway, happy birthday, Eamon. I'm sure you're not watching, but 78 years young. Can't believe it. Terribly missed on the telly.
What was this quote? Something like, you've never managed a team, Eamon. He goes, well, I've managed to stay alive for 63 and a half years, baby.
Yeah.
What was it? Was that it?
Yeah, I didn't manage anybody. I managed to stay alive 63 and a half years, baby. No, I thought the best one was, and I think they're all on Lansing Road, by the way. Go over to Lansing Road. Go back to the 3rd of August. They're all on there. I thought the one about Steve Staunton was when the guy, oh, you have to give the manager credit. I give him no credit. Looks like a guy in the Phoenix Park. Amazing stuff. There's so many clips out there. I love Eamon Dunphy. He's terribly missed on the telly. Anyway, we're going to move it on to the final section of the show. On our first Green Machine back, your comments, and a few of them have come in there. Thank you so much, by the way. We're going to get to them right now. Let's have a look. Let's start from the top here. So we have there Connor Free Prendy. He's very free.
He's very free. Very, very free. As were some people that he encountered this morning. Yes. if you know, Martin.
Oh yeah. He was texting. He's just sending us in WhatsApp messages there. He's looking a little bit. Happy, shall we say? John Griffin with a thumbs up. Thank you very much, John. A shout out to you, sir. As always, thank you very, very much. Darryl O'Connor. Why, hey, the lads are back. Darryl O'Connor, an absolute, by the way, a legend of a man. He was. I never gave him his flowers, which is, I suppose, a new comment with you young people. Nick, young people say your flowers, but I want to give that man
never heard that.
That's an American thing, and it'll catch on soon. We have it here in London first, and it'll be in Dublin in about 5 years' time. Darryl, absolute legend of a man. He was so helpful to me in Athens. Remember when I was going around and I was interviewing all the people? He was my cameraman, Darryl O'Connor.
Great Darryl.
Good man. And here he is, by the way, mentioning your earlier comment. He's been almost smashed in the face many times in section 114.
Yeah.
And Neri Newick. Yay, Sting Graphics and Music. just for you, Nuri. Sorry about the social media watch. I don't know what happened there.
There was a awkward bit of silence for it. Yeah, not good enough, Dave. Not good enough.
I know. And Martin misses us. Martin Prendergast, miss you, lads. Ah, well, we don't miss you. No, I'm just joking. We do miss Martin.
We do miss Martin.
You're Nurk again. An Ireland manager and captain falling out of the World Cup. Hardly the first time that's happened. On about Katie McCabe and Vera Pauw. Who else could be mentioning? And also Stacey earlier on, Nick. I did ask how did we pronounce Stacey's surname. And believe it's Seibel. Stacey, a new listener, Stacey, by the way. Thank you very much. Watching us in Baltimore in the United States. And she says, "Sláinte, boys. Good stuff." Are you originally from Ireland, or are you originally from America, Stacey? We'd love to know. And of course, the man himself. It wouldn't be a Green Machine Live without this man. Who am I talking about, Nick? I'm putting you on the spot.
Must be Mr. Kieran Boyle.
You got it.
And Kieran Boyle.
And you know what? Nick can't actually see the comments, so
I can, yeah. Oh, I can, Dave. I'm like Trump. I have all the buttons in front of me.
You just ruined the surprise. I'm just trying to give Kieran his flowers. Kieran Boyle, how are you, lads? Castori had a brutal World Cup. Get that stuff out of here and ring Adidas back. Tad Jesus, absolutely.
What about Nike?
Adidas.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm trying to plug our lovely jerseys, Dave.
Yeah, which are available on the greenmachinepodcast.com shop. Only got a couple left.
We do. We've only got
We've
three left.
got a couple left. Yeah, they sort of went missing a bit. Actually, I don't even have. Look at that. Look at that.
Beautiful.
Just saying. What can you say? You can't say anymore. Darrell O'Connor again. Not at all suggesting Kenny should go, but if next window doesn't go to plan, do you reckon Carsley would want the Ireland job very quickly? Do you think he'd want the next? Sorry. Do you think he wants the Ireland job?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
There you go. Connor Sinclair Armstrong, greater than any English talent.
Agreed.
Darrell O'Connor again. Personally, I'd stick with Kenny, but Jesus, we need to change that formation. Got to adapt to the opposition, I would argue. Good man. And Darrell is quite a Kenny. He's quite a Kennyite. Darrell O'Connor, no. So Kilbarrack players on the boys in green, no. No, we have lifted our standards up. Darrell, it mentions the fact that we only have Premier League and down to League One, no League Two or
no Killian Phillips, unfortunately, and no snapper comments or snapper quotes. Unfortunately, it's all banned. Kilbarrack's banned now. Unfortunately,
God, I've seen that movie for years. That's probably banned now too. That movie. Amazing how you trivialize. No, we're going to keep it family orientated. Darrell O'Connor again. Hopefully the Wolves move for Doherty improves him. January invisible at right wing back for us. Yeah, that's what happens when you're not playing, Darrell. That's what I said. 14 minutes in the Liga. Christ. Darrell O'Connor again. Fair was watching Richard Keogh trying to play a pass across our back line.
Yeah. I liked Richard Keogh. Do you know what he reminded me of? Do you remember Euro 2000 and they had those, this is going to sound a bit, you'd like this, Dave, with your Elsa doll. But do you remember those blow up, people? And they were like that?
Euro 2000.
He reminded me of one of them.
What, like flighty?
Just like there was wind getting blown up his hole or something. He always did well though. Solid man, Richard Keogh.
Solid man.
I was a fan.
Ireland career cut short after that horrific car crash.
Jesus, yeah.
That was actually his. Was that picture of his leg?
Yeah,
that was going around.
That was
actually
him.
Was.
That was his knee. That was his knee.
Oh, that was bad. That was really bad. Darrell O'Connor again. Although League Two is a step down from McClean, still think he has more to offer in rotation for Ireland. Really found himself under Kenny, in my opinion. Yeah,
his best spells have come under Kenny, but no, not for me, unfortunately.
No, but if he was maybe 5 years younger, Stacey again, I don't blame him. McClean for stepping down could be good.
It's the right move. It's the right move at the right time for him. It's not right for his Ireland career, I don't think, but for him, absolutely. It's either at 34, go into League One, slog it away with the club you own nothing to, who have a points deduction and who are probably going to struggle, or take an outrageous amount of money for going to League Bloody 2 to a club who are on the up, a club who seem to have a good feel factor around them. He's probably going to get money for being on the show, that kind of stuff as well. So all those things he needs to factor in. His next move had to be one to make him a few bob. He might only play for another season or two, and then that's him done. So right move, I think. Yeah.
No, fair play. Connor, Callum Adada was superb for Cardiff today.
Yeah,
is that
very
Connor
good?
Or Connor on the YouTube channel? Is that Connor or is that Martin?
Yeah, no, it's Connor. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. No, it could be Martin. Yeah, Martin in disguise. Adada was excellent today. I don't think he got the assist. I think it kind of ricocheted a bit, but he set up the first.
Where did he play? Where did he play? I haven't seen the highlights yet.
Left wing back, yeah.
Did he?
No, he did, yeah. Left wing back.
Did he actually move forward, did he? In a wing back mode?
Yeah, believe it or not, he did, yeah. He wouldn't do it for Ireland, but look.
No. A rocket up his arse wouldn't get him to do for Ireland.
Yeah.
Darrell O'Connor, pity about McGrath. Thought he was good, being a good playmaker for us. Oh, Darrell, I love you. You're a lovely man. We're going to move on from that one. Irish Football Blog. Always listen, lads. Oh, there's a friends over Irish Football Blog. Give him a listen. Give him a shout. Follow him on Twitter. And then give him stick. That's what I do. Works for me. Works for me very well. Just on end, Stephen Stacey Seibel. How do we pronounce her surname again?
Seibel, yeah.
Seibel says about End Stevens, yes, don't let him come over here to join MLS. Good on you, Stacey. Darrell O'Connor again, looking at the Women's World Cup just shows how shite Augustory gear actually is. Umbro underrated for me. Euro 2016 kit and gear beautiful for all our modern gear. To be fair, I did like the Euro 2016 kit, Darrell. I really did, actually. And he also goes on, never met Dunphy. I'd say some crack on the drink. Very nice man. Very, very nice man. And he did confide in me that he used to do punditry for Millwall Den FM or something for the Millwall channel, and you'd be drunk. But then he'd tell you, I don't drink that much.
You'd need to be, wouldn't you?
You'd need to be. Darrell O'Connor, another good one was when Duffy said manager and Stott will never go together. Fair enough. I certainly didn't. And Stacey has cleared up where she is from. Strokestown? Where's Strokestown?
Oh, Jesus. Is it Kilkenny, is it?
Is it Kilkenny, Stacey? I'm sorry. I've lived in London for 12 years now. But no, I'm glad you cleared that up. How long are you in America, by the way, Stacey, as well? Try and answer that before we go off in a couple of minutes.
Strokestown, because is it Connor Cox, the footballer? He's Strokestown. So Roscommon.
Is it Roscommon?
Roscommon?
Yep, it is Roscommon. Stacey has, she said Roscommon. Good on you.
Oh.
Or did you just look at it? No, you look at the comments, didn't you? You said
I didn't. I was looking this. No, I don't. No, I don't know. Anyway,
you should have.
No, because I put it together. Because anyway, Connor Cox, who plays for Roscommon, ex-Kerry player, switch codes. I know that's his. I don't know if it's his club, but I knew he had links with Strokestown. So anyway, that's how my mind works.
There you go. Yeah. Daniel Taylor, anything in Ferguson not starting in any Brighton pre-season games, lads? Not been following it too closely.
I don't think he has been starting, no.
That's worrying, isn't it?
But he had injury issues towards the end of the season, so I think it's more to do with that.
Yeah, I think he's going to ease into the season. We hope anyway. The season, Premier League season.
I wouldn't be too concerned there.
No, Premier League season does start next week. Connor again. Fuck Irish Football Blog. Thought James Abankwa was on trial at Cliftonville.
Yeah, I saw that actually, and it gave me an awful fright. And then I thought it was like an April Fool's thing that had been retweeted, and no, Bill just got it wrong. Bill got it wrong.
Bill did get it wrong, didn't he? And you're right, Connor. Fuck Irish Football Blog. Follow Lansing Road and the Green Machine as well. Stacey Seibel, you got it. There we go. We did get it. Paul Culleton, good to see you again. Lovely to see our old friends back. Thanks for the show, lads. Great to see you back. And Darrell O'Connor says, in Roscommon, lads, haha, up the Rossies on the whole Stacey Seibel and Strokestown. That's really cool. And the last one goes to Darrell O'Connor. Don't think we ever had a Rossi Ireland player, did we?
No, but here's one for you. Here's another random one for you. So Jack Carthy, who plays rugby for Connacht and has played a bit for Ireland as well. I think he's from Athlone, So I think he's actually from Westmeath, but he played minor football for Roscommon and underage football for Ireland before deciding to be a rugby player. So I think that's one of the closest we've gotten to. There's a random one for you. That and Connor Cox, my 2 Roscommon facts of the day. I have no links to Roscommon, by the way. Just how my brain operates, unfortunately.
Fair.
Imagine I put that brain to actual use.
I've never been to Roscommon, so I don't know. Irish football blog there. Bill seems to, I think Bill's on the sauce anyway. So the comments coming in there. Well, I'll tell you what, actually, the one, he's apparently somebody misrepresented him to suit their agenda, and he's going to take them all down. That's what Bill said on there. The comments. Good to have you back, Bill. And the last comment I'm actually going to come up with is because it's very pertinent to what we're going to be doing from here on in, and that's Darrell O'Connor. That's a Sunday night sort of going forward, lads. Good to have you back, Darrell. It's good to be back, and we are back. Thank you very much this week. And Nick, thank you for joining us this week. We will probably have Martin with us if he comes back from that rock he's under. And we are going to, and a new thing we're doing, hold on, wait for it. And that's it.
And board.
I've just muted his mic there. And that is for this week's episode. The first one back from a little bit of a hiatus. Thank you very much for listening at home. Thank you for all your comments and your support. If you want to follow us a bit more, head over to our Facebook page, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, or X, or whatever it's called. It sounds like a porn site, actually, but you know, if that's your thing, fair enough. And also head over to thegreenmachinepodcast.com. That's thegreenmachinepodcast.com for more opinion. Thank you very much. We will be back around the same time next week and going forward with every Sunday evening. Thank you very much. Anyway, we're going to leave it there, and we're going to see you on the next one.